We're going live. It's 10. Oh, hello, my beauties, and happy Valentine's Day, my little loves. Welcome to the EV Café News and Views, to share the show that's more electrifying than Lorna McAteer up a National Grid pylon. Now then, we're the award-winning EV Café, where we serve up the juiciest zero-emission vehicle chat with a side order of questionable wiring. Indeed. And we've got 30 minutes of sustainable transport shenanigans for you, served up with lashings of expert analysis from the magnificent EV Café crew. And today, our opinions on a stick are Sarah. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hello. Well, better for having not dashed from London at 5 in the morning to be at my desk. I just went down the stairs today.
Oh,
so brilliant.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice change.
Well done, you. And we have Auntie Sam. How are you, Auntie Sam?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, very good. Busy week.
Marvellous. Isn't it always? And Paul, you've been skimming stones this morning. He's on mute.
He's on mute. He's on mute.
I didn't put
When
it on
will it
you.
end?
I didn't put it on
Yeah.
you. Somebody did that. I
When will
didn't
it
do
end? Oh.
Anyway, so no, the sea was too rough, but it was lovely to walk along and throw a pebble in. There we
Good
go. See my
man.
video on LinkedIn for that if you want.
Definitely. Or alternatively, watch something interesting. Now then, grab your favourite mug with a beveragini, plug in your brains, and let's zap through what's been happening in the world of clean transport this week. Now, we'll start with a UK insurer issuing a warning on EV battery fires. Well, we'll be issuing a warning about overhyping insurance worries. Sarah, I'm coming to you for that one.
Oh, okay.
Car manufacturers may not hit the 2028 ZEV mandate targets. Are they dragging their feet or facing genuine hurdles? Sam, I'm coming to you for that one. Mylance gets 111 million euros of EU funding. Is this the cash injection that European charging infrastructure desperately needs? And how does this play in the UK market? Any relevance there? Paul, I'm coming to you for that one. And my favourite story of the week. Poo-powered electric HGVs join the United Utilities fleet. Finally, a use for all of Paul's organic material. This should totally be story number 2, I would have said. It's a poo party, so feel free to fire in the comments and to be heard. But first, we have a new feature. This is the EV Café commercial clap.
What?
Commercial clap from the EV Café.
Innovation applauded.
There we go. The commercial clap is where we highlight innovation and new stuff in our industry. So let's chat about Felton and the Charge Cube. And with a bit of luck, we might even have a picture of it. The Charge Cube is one of these big container boxes, absolutely rammed full of No, that's a dust truck, mate.
No, that's
definitely a dust truck.
That's full of something else.
Let's go with the other one, shall we? That's the baby.
Oh, there it
So
is.
it's a big box of batteries, reused batteries, which are then put into this container and can be shipped anywhere. So you've got a festival, you've got a place that you need loads of EVs to be. Then you can take the Charge Cube, brilliant from Felton, well done you, and then Compleo. We've already seen their refuse vehicles, and they're not Compleo's refuse vehicles. Compleo charge these big bad boys in Islington. They've just won a £1.2 million contract to do such a thing, and that's magnificent. And then Nodum, Ben McDonald, you sent me the most marvellous picture of what is essentially an electric-filled elephant's trunk which goes over from a building, across the pavement and into a vehicle. We did have a picture. I can't find it. It's a bummer, but there we go. Pavement charging, and they're charging Uber and other things. It's just magnificent. You all deserve the EV Café commercial clap.
Commercial clap from the EV Café.
Innovation applauded.
There he is. Thanks, Joe.
John, your hands are so
Magnificent.
elegant. How long did it take you to do your nails? They're so beautiful in that video.
Stupidly, I did it in black and white, and so you couldn't see that was a beautiful, lustrous green. Let's move on. Let's start with a little spark of concern. It seems that EV battery fires are causing a bit of a meltdown for Allianz UK. They are reporting over £6.5 million worth in claims after some recent electric vehicle incidents. Now then, before you picture your EV bursting into flames like a rogue firework, experts say, and statistics say, that EVs are 24 times safer than internal combustion engine vehicles when it comes to fires. However, Mark Twain said it best when he said, "Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story." So let's put this story into context. £6.5 million worth of loss for Allianz because of EVs. Let's just have a look at the Luton Airport fire, which happened
I was
recently.
going to say that. Damn it.
Good.
I know the number. I know what it is.
So, it started when Land Rover burst into flames, causing the loss of 1,500 vehicles at an estimated cost of £54 million. Add in the cost of the operational issues during and after the fire and the rebuilding of the car park, and you're not getting any change over £100 million. Although the official figures still haven't been made public. It starts to put into context the nature of the scare tactics that are being deployed here by some in the insurance industry. EVs cause £6.5 million of loss. Internal combustion engine vehicles in one incident cause over £100 million. What the world needs right now are facts more than hyperbole and a sense of proportion to enable customers to make informed decisions. We're not slavish to EVs at the EV Café, but we are servants of facts and the truth, Sarah.
Oh, we are indeed. Now, conscious that Gary is in the chat, and I do think that has to be number one podcast that I've heard you guys do. It was so funny. You were really laughing, and right at the end, with your annual tradition, you pass on this opportunity to what would you like to see in the industry? And he said, public service announcements during very popular TV shows, including facts like that. And yet this morning, my WhatsApp group chats are full of people resharing things from the Daily Mail with their own angle on it. I don't know the best way to tackle this FUD. It's so annoying to see people like Daily Fail getting away with it, publishing news stories like that. And then almost more annoying to see people like us kind of resharing the exact same post. We know how the algorithm works. Do your own post. Stop picking up on that particular story because it will just add fuel to the literal fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Go and do your own research. That information took me about 3 minutes to find. It wasn't difficult. Some average calculations, and we can put out fact, not the nonsense that comes out from those with vested interests. Any other thoughts, Paul, Sam?
Just one from me, I suppose, is that theoretically, John, if that Luton fire had been electric, then it's possible that it would have caused as much damage as the internal combustion engine car did. However, the chances of an EV catching fire in that airport car park is significantly smaller, such that the probabilities demonstrate the safety factors and safety metrics that you highlighted before.
Indeed,
So yeah, it's worthwhile making that comparison still.
Paul?
I just wanted to reflect on the thought that there must have been some electric vehicles in there. So why aren't they still burning? I mean, don't they burn forever? Can't they ever be put out? I'm sure that there
Shall we move on?
No, well, I'm actually saying they don't, obviously. I mean, there must have been some caught up in the fire. And of course, it didn't become the sort of raging inferno that we all say that, or not we all, but people say that it would be. So I was actually really comforted by the fact that actually that had happened and that EVs weren't the centre of it and didn't even dramatically affect it. It seems.
Mm-hmm. All very useful and interesting perspectives. We all come at this from a different angle, but it all makes sense. Go and do your own research. I teach my kids every day. Think for yourself. Don't be told what to think. Now then, let's do some shout outs, shall we? 8:54, economy trucks. Happy Valentine's all. Happy Valentine's to you. Daryl Sharp in the hum of the EV Café Bright, where electrons dance in the soft blue light. My heart, once hesitant and slow, now charges up a vibrant
Oh, well
glow.
done.
Oh, Daryl!
superb.
Oh, thank you. Love that.
That deserves a mug. Daryl, has he got a mug already?
He's probably got
I think
5. He's such a kind fan.
Gary Comerford, lovely to see you here, my friend. Morning all. His postman didn't get here till late, so he's expecting Valentine's cards to flood in after we're done here. Well, we love you, mate, and we've already said that. Scott Eady, is that the Cookie Monster I see before me? Oh, how lovely. Teresa Swift, she's a bit late today. That'll be on your report card. Sending hugs and love. Gemma Robinson spoke yesterday. Lovely to see you. We've set up a cheeky little WhatsApp group for all of us neuro-spicy people. If you want to join, do get in touch, and maybe Gemma will let you in. David Cornish, he's still down there in the southwest, although he's probably not. Michael Bartlett, he's in Bristol. Lovely to see you. Evie Bino, Ron Godfrey. Oh, you had your Valentine already with both JC and PK fighting for your affections earlier this week. Ron, he's referring to the podcast that Paul and I did with Gary Comerford. If you haven't seen it or heard it yet, why not stick it into Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever it is where you get your podcasts, or the evcafe.org website, and listen to Gary Comerford. He even talks about a place far away that he may have appeared in but can't speak about just yet. Richard
Can I
Lindop.
just say that John is apparently Gary's favourite, but there we go.
I don't see how that's possible. You two were giggling like little schoolboys. It was so funny. I really enjoyed it.
No, it is a fact, Sarah. Roses are red, violets are blue. It's the EV Café. Time for a brew.
Very good.
They're in the house
Richard.
today.
Good.
Well done.
See, even Sam threw a shout out, said it's good. This is
I like that
important
one. I like that
stuff.
one.
This is a development. Sam is humanising.
Progress.
Rachel Lewis, good morning. Toby Hiles, hello mate, lovely to see you. Ash Bannister, old Two Mugs himself is in the house. Jamie Fretwell, 6'5" of absolute gorgeousness. Ben McDonald from Nodham, sorry I didn't have your picture of the electrical elephant's trunk, my friend. Belinda Guy, good to see you here as always. Craig Stark, you've been very active on the socials this week. Lovely to see you. Louisa Flynn, nice to have you in the house. Leo Pickford. Sarah Kennel, that's 3 weeks in a row you've been in. What are you avoiding, I wonder? Matthew Leng from the wonderful East Coast. Suffolk, to be precise. Roses are red, violets are blue. Where else to be listening but to you? I didn't even read that right, but never mind, it was good. Stuart Humphrey, big love to you. Likes being silly, don't we all? Tony Clayton, Mark Main, thank you for your comments, Mark, this week. Ian Mayhew, good to see you. Mark Newbury from Europe Car, the Hyhedron, the cheese, he's in the house. Gorgonzola in the house. Who else we got here? Heather Kennedy. Happy Valentine's Day. Lovelies. Lloyd Allen from Bristol. Sorry I'm late, Mr. Curtis. Bring a note, boy. Andrew Clark. Hello, Marv. Marvellous Marvin Samuels. Charlie Gilbert. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're well. Do let us know how you're faring in the comments. Out of 10, Tom Middleditch. Honestly, the register has been done, but you made it. Well done. Thank you kindly. Lovely to hear from you. Perhaps drop us a bell sometime. Right, Pam Hanlon. Good to see you, my little friend. I was watching a drama during the week, a period drama, and there was an Irish actress who reminded me so much of Pam Hanlon. It was uncanny. 4 for 11 of acting brilliance. Rob Dustin, good to see you. Who else we got in the house? D-E-V, Jack Gravar.
Hey.
Danita Brewer, lovely to see you. Haven't seen you for a few
Poo-poo.
weeks. Oh, don't talk about the poo-poo. And Laura
Later.
Hustwick Wilkes. So we've got 2 of the power people in the house. Lovely to have you here. And Sarah Kennel says, shh, I'm in a meeting.
That made me laugh.
We don't do shh. Sorry, darling. Right, let's move on. Hold on to your charging cables, folks, because new data suggests that car manufacturers are about to face a mandate meltdown. They've predicted to miss those zero-emission vehicle mandate targets by a whopping 345,000 units by 2028. That's of a lot of electric dreams going up in, well, not smoke, but maybe a slightly disappointed whir. Turns out, despite the hype, we're still not all buzzing about EVs. Well, it's not hype, it's fact. Cox Automotive and Regit, the data crunching peeps, reckon that only 36% of new cars will be electric by 2028. And that's a far cry from the government's 52% target. So, are we all just too attached to the smell of petrol? Or is there still work to do to encourage drivers to make the switch to EV? Sam, I wonder what part should OEMs be playing in supporting the switch further? Got any thoughts?
First, I got a thought from EV Bino, who said, "Has my AI chip been upgraded to human mode or something similar?" But I don't do
upgraded, Sam.
I don't do AI, Ron. I prefer to use my own real-world experience. Thank you very much. But anyway, what was the question? Vehicle manufacturers. Yeah.
Oh God, please use AI.
Yeah.
Bring back Sam. Bring back Sam.
Do I get to answer now? Yeah, thank you.
Go on then.
Oh God.
Come on, John. You know he doesn't like to be interrupted.
When you're ready.
Just letting Paul, your sound, I can barely hear you, by the way, which is brilliant. I've resisted the temptation to tell you. Vehicle manufacturers, yeah, it's 3 years, isn't it? It's 3-year prediction that they're going to be 345,000 vehicles short. I mean, I'm struggling with this logic. Again, it feels a little bit like the previous article. Like, are people just wanting to scaremonger yet again? I mean, how can anyone really know what the uptake is going to be over the next 3 years, given we're already at the beginning of a really accelerating curve in regards to vehicle registrations? Yes, John.
Isn't this called forecasting, Sam? And isn't that where they take a trend and project where it might end up? Just a thought.
Indeed, but how difficult is it to forecast when you're at the beginning of an accelerated curve, especially when it is a curve, not a straight line? So it's very, very difficult, I think, for anyone to realistically predict what the uptake is going to be over the next few years. But of course, what happens is we get the negative responses first, as always. But you know, we've seen on this news, on doing the news for the last few years, some of the predictions that we hear about vehicle registrations month on month, and then it transpires to be completely different when you look at it after 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. So I'm always taking these forecasts with a pinch of salt because I don't think anyone really knows.
Love that. Gary Comerford yet again says, public service announcements to help people overcome the barriers to adoption. Gary, you're right, mate. Absolutely. And Teresa, you're a crawler. Sam, you're my favourite.
That's thin ice, Teresa. It's thin ice, Teresa.
Just because he pays the bills. Behave yourself, you.
Thanks,
Shocking behaviour. What else do we need to do? So we've got OEMs could do a bit more. We've got these public service announcements that Gary keeps talking about, and I suspect he's working on something where we myth bust. What else can we do, Paul?
Well, I've been saying this for a long time, and particularly in the world of vans, but the car world is really important as well on this front, that we need to start changing our marketing message to get to the retail punter. The retail punter that doesn't get the benefit of benefit in kind and all of those kinds of things, they need incentives to consider EV because they've not been helped. The world of company car drivers, which was diminishing by the day, has sort of soaked up all the glory of the extra money that's now in their pocket. But the retail punter, both in the car and the van world, doesn't get a look in, and our marketing is one message, or to try a big company to get lots of people to buy the vehicles, but we actually need to think about the person by person. That's done at dealer level, and the sort of personal messaging. It needs to be much wider.
Indeed, and I couldn't agree more with Ash Bannister, who says he totally agrees with Sam. There are some strange people about. Yeah. We can't accurately forecast what sales will look like in 3 years. So much new innovation to come in the meantime. And Sarah, he's right, isn't he? Innovation is the key to success here. We've got to keep getting further with the range of electric vehicles. The charging infrastructure needs to be faster, better, more reliable. There is innovation still to happen in battery technology that we haven't even thought about yet.
Yeah, if you look back 3 years ago, I'm not sure we'd be exactly a dot on the map where we thought we'd be today. It could be before or after. However, I think shifting of the goalposts of this target is to blame. If it's like 28, then it's supposed to be more than that. I wonder where we would have been in 2035 if we continued that trajectory on the graph. Probably about right. But it was 2045, then 2040, then 2030, then 2035 again, then 2030 again. No wonder it's confusing for people who are trying to map this trajectory when the government just keeps shifting the goalposts around.
Yeah, Teresa Swift rightly points out that Reform UK this week are reporting that they will scrap net zero. Here's the news, Reform. You can't scrap something that isn't a policy or legislation. It's a thing. It's happening. It's going to keep happening because we know it's the right thing. Stop your nonsense. And thank you, Teresa, for bringing that to our door. Martin Sweeney's just crept in at the bottom there, and we love him. No, I'll rephrase that. He didn't just creep in at the bottom. That sounds awful. Anyway, we've got a poo story coming up later. This one is... We have some more electrifying news that's just zoomed in across the wires. Milence, the super team formed by Daimler Truck, the Traton Group and Volvo Group just won the lottery. Well, the EU's version of it, they snagged a whopping €111.5 million to supercharge EU EV infrastructure. That's right. We're talking about a charging revolution big style. By 2027, Milence will be installing hundreds of megawatt and ultra rapid charging points across Europe, making those cross-country EV trips a breeze. No more range anxiety, just open roads and zero emissions. So great. In the EU, getting loads and loads of investment. What does that mean for the UK's market, Paul?
Gosh, you've asked me a very technical question there. I didn't expect it to be quite so highbrow. I think it's good news in that a company like Milence that want to put truck charging into the UK is on the move. We know that the first one is opening up in the UK in, I think it's March the 4th. I think it's very soon, and that's great news. And what it's clear is that the intention around truck zero emission transport is moving very, very rapidly towards electric, and that is the way that's what we can take from all of this. But the whole political piece I'm not really sure about.
But it does give certainty, I guess, to the fact that €111 million is being spent on charging infrastructure in Europe. So I suppose the knock-on effect is that the UK market can say, well, there really is something going on here. This is a movement. As we were talking about earlier, Reform saying net zero is going to just be scrapped. I'm sorry, but the reality of the lives we now lead is that we expect better, cleaner, greener and safer roads.
Yeah, just to add, John, it is a good number. I think it's a great starting point. There's going to need to be trillions, sadly, in order to really develop it. But it's just a really, really big number. And just to put that in perspective, the ZHID projects, to which I'm running one of, is 200 million, and that's just for 4 consortiums in the UK alone. And even that doesn't get us a tremendous amount of infrastructure because it's an expensive thing to instigate at the moment. But nevertheless, it's the beginning of grassroots or growth in the market. And yeah, we've got 142 trucks on our project, which is a quarter of all the HGVs in the UK. So we're beginning to get there in terms of putting things on the road and seeing. And as per our final article, is demonstrating the reality of people actually getting stuff done.
Sam, can I just clarify? You mentioned trillions. Do you really believe it is trillions? And that is a genuine question. Is it that much, or is it billions?
Maybe it's billions, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, it's tens of millions for each hub, right? And if you need thousands and thousands of those across Europe in order to facilitate a realistic and viable network, it starts to seriously add up. So I don't know what the final number is, Paul. I couldn't even hazard a guess, really. But
it's a very big number.
It's a big number.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. My favourite story of the week by a very long way, and predictable as hell. When I saw the title, I thought, yes, that's in. United Utilities is going green by going brown. They're trialling electric HGVs powered by poo. Can you just see how uncomfortable Sam is with this story right now? His face is a picture. That's right. These magnificent machines will be hauling the leftovers from sewage treatment plants across the northwest. Talk about a sustainable fuel source. They're joining forces with giants like Sainsbury's and Amazon in a £100 million project to build the world's biggest EHGV charging network. Sam will have a view on that, no doubt. So next time you see a lorry on the motorway, just remember it will be running on, well, it could be, the brown stuff. And the best part is the poo-powered trucks get recharged. Essentially, all of this sewage waste gets taken to a plant, anaerobic digestion creates ultimately electricity, which then powers electric vehicles. They get recharged using the same renewable energy that they delivered. So electric trucks pick up the sewage, take it to a plant, it gets turned into electricity, which charges the trucks to go and pick up more poo. This is sustainability at its best. What say you people? Do you love a poo story, Sam?
Yes, obviously I'm part of this story, and I stood in Manchester in the pouring rain in front of the cameras with lots of HGV trucks the other week, freezing my proverbials off. And bizarrely, for a power, I've never been to a sewage plant before, but it doesn't smell. Who'd have thought it? It was completely normal. But yeah, I mean, power by poo, I struggled with that one. But United Utilities were absolutely set in their ways in terms of using that tagline. So be it. But whatever, it's all good. And I love the energy recycling and moving that energy around in different component parts. It's just a brilliant story. And they will also be looking to open that site up to facilitate other users of the same network as well, which means even better because that's collaboration in anger. So that's great. So we're starting to see things happening now, more and over and above the vehicles being ordered. So it's exciting stuff. It's not a long way to go though.
Always important to open that site up. Sarah, Sam seems surprised that poo doesn't smell.
Maybe his doesn't.
Or more like his does. But this is, again, Sarah, this is the innovation point, isn't it? We think about how we can fuel our vehicles in a completely different way to we used to. We've been brainwashed for so long that petrol and diesel is the only way. Actually, innovation is the only way.
I think marketing is the only way. Anaerobic digestion is not a new innovation. It's 20, 30 years old. They've just worked out, you do that equals that, let's use that. And I'm all for it. It's a bit like the energy from waste facilities that we all see, which can utterly transform the life cycle of our general waste. Highly calorific waste product, this is. And we actually covered this news story before, and I did promise you, and broke my promise, to find you the information about the jet fuel that was being created from bugs for the same reason. So it's an energy ecosystem utilizing waste that then can go forward. I just love the fact that it's United Utilities. I hope that it's some kind of refuse collection truck. Waste powers waste, I don't know, but I'm saluting marketing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Paul, this kind of vehicle and all this innovation is going to be on display at the CV show.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I will, and but first let me say I was really tickled by the term black gold, which is what they term the sludge that is being used to create it. So I think that trumps liquid gold by some margin. Anyway, there we go. But yeah, the commercial vehicle show is on the 29th and 30th of April and the 1st of May. We are lucky enough to be the decarbonisation theatre, and the EV Café Village will be in full swing. We've already got a number of partners joining us, like the AA and Webfleet and Right Charge, and there's a number of others in the mix as well. We've got some amazing speakers over the few days. Guys from BT, Royal Mail, DPD, Islington Council, the aforementioned, that Complio were there. So, and we've got some networking lunches on every day, and all of this technology within the show will be on display. And of course, the EV Cafe Village will be celebrating the ecosystem of electrification, and that is going to be fabulous. There's going to be some great people for you to learn from, hang out with, and connect with. It just couldn't get any better. I am absolutely buzzing.
I think he's quite excited. He's really excited for this one. This is good news.
Can I just say, Paul didn't know I was going to throw him that CV show button, and immediately he just switches into sales mode and goes, right, here we go. Brilliant. Absolutely superb, Paul. Well done. Right, you horrible lot. That's it. If you've got any juicy, clean transport PR or news stories you think we absolutely must cover, ping them over to hello@evcafe.org, especially if you want the commercial clap. next week. It could be you. Until next Friday, it's batteries charged and goodbye from me and the team. This has been an EV Café production because, let's be honest, other sustainability news services are available. But this is just fodder!
We crashed the
massive
lights.
A massive shout out to our electrifying partners, the AA, Webfleet, Europcar, Iveco, Drax Electric Vehicles, Sperry, Allstar, Stuart Signs, Schneider Electric, Dynamon, EV Blocks, and AW Energy. You all make the EV Cafe hum. But without you, dear viewers, none of this would be the same. You are fantastic. Have a brilliant Valentine's Day. We're the EV Cafe, driving the charge towards clean transport. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, get lucky, and be happy if you can. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Somebody
Oh,
like the commercial
Martin.
clap. Ooh.
Yeah.